What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're getting into my Week 11 NBA Power Rankings. So let's dive right into it. Starting out with the worst team in the league, staying this way. Number 30, we're going to have the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons this week go 0-4. Same old Pistons without Kate Cunningham. Not a lot to go for this Pistons team. They got Ivy. They got Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich is playing well, but just not a good team here in Detroit, really at all. All right, number 29 also stayed at the same spot. We have the Charlotte Hornets. It's really just LaMelo Ball trying to lead this team. He's dealt with some injuries this season. This team goes 2-3 this week, so not bad for the Hornets. But if they want to dig themselves out of this hole that they've created, they're 9-26 right now. They really need to start going crazy because right now it's not looking good at all for the Charlotte Hornets. And then number 28, we're going to have the Houston Rockets dropping down a spot. And Houston this week goes 1-4. I mean, 1-4. The Rockets just are kind of a weird team to rank, in my opinion. They got talent. They got some young talent. I don't think they're very well coached, though. I don't think it's a enough talented team to win. It's just still a big-time rebuild in Houston, very similar to the Pistons right now, except for they still have their top pick that they picked a couple years ago still there in green. So, the Houston Rockets at 28, that's where I see them at right now. And then number 27, jumping up a spot, flipping with the Rockets, we have the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs this week go 2-3, so a solid enough week. They're starting to get back. They've went 5-5 in the last 10 games, so starting to get back to playing a lot better for Greg Popovich's squad. We all know Greg Popovich is an excellent coach. He's going to lead a team to be at least decently enough competitive, even when their talent is so low, like we've seen from the San Antonio squad this season. That's kind of what we've seen from the San Antonio Spurs. Just a bad basketball team that's really well coached. And then rounding out the bad tier, number 26, we're of the Atlanta Magic, staying at the same spot here. The Magic this week go 2-3, or 2-2. My apologies. Orlando goes even. This team's close to being in the hunt here. Don't get me wrong. This team is close because the East is wide open. The best team right now is at 15-19, which is the Raptors. The 10 seed. So, the Eastern Conference has a wide open spot right there. Orlando could sneak up. I just don't think so right now. They're just too young, and they started out the year very bad. They're starting to figure things out. So I just need at least one more week to see if this team could keep on improving. All right, so that's the bad tier. Let's go on to the in the hunt tier here. Starting out with number 25, the Oklahoma City Thunder jumps out of the bad tier into this in the hunt tier. A great week for the Thunder. Go 3-1 this time. So a good week for Oklahoma City Thunder. Gilius Alexander continues to show he's a great basketball player, can really score for this team. A lot of young talent on the Thunder. They've had all these draft picks for a reason. A decently coached basketball team. The Oklahoma City Thunder, still have a chance to redeem, make the play-in tournament. It's tough in the Western Conference, but they're playing good basketball right now. And the way Gilius Alexander's playing, I can see this Thunder team, being a play-in tournament team. Just somehow sneaking in when it's all said and done. So we'll see. Maybe the Thunder can start rolling like, say, the Kings have, or the Pacers. Be a surprise team this season. All right, and then let's move on to number 24. We're going to have the LA Lakers dropping down 4 spots. Anthony Davis goes out. I'm not sure how long he's out, but all I know is he's out for a long time. So that's going to hurt the Lakers. And we see this week go 1-4. They were starting to dig themselves out of this hole that they built themselves into at the beginning of the season. But this week, obviously going 1-3 does not help at all. or 1-4. That is actually. Yeah, I mean LeBron James just can't carry this team fully. It's just not a very good roster here in Lakers. Let's be straight up honest. It's not a very good team really at all. And yeah, the Lakers, obviously LeBron James, with LeBron James, this team can still be competitive. So that's why I do think they're still an in the hunt team right now. But it's rough right now for the Lakers. Number 23, we're going to have the Washington Wizards jumping up a spot. 14-21. The Wizards kind of getting back on their feet this week, go 3-1. So a good week for Washington. Bradley Beal has struggled ever since he came off that injury, but he's starting to get back his groove a bit. Obviously, this offense needs to be explosive if this team's going to be any good because their defense is not very good. But yeah, they've won. They went 3-1 this week, so the Wizards starting to get back on track. Maybe can be that Wizards team that we thought they were a few weeks back. Going to number 22, we're going to have the Chicago Bulls, another team getting back on track. A team I was very tempted on putting in the play-in tournament tier. Just couldn't quite get there with this team. They went 3-1, very close. The Bulls need to see another week for me to be moving them up. They still need to be better on the defense side of the ball. And DeRozan and these guys have got to click. This is a very good Bulls team, very talented, that can be a dangerous team in the playoffs. But yeah, they've got to. They're trying to figure things out right now, and we'll see if they can continue to try and do that. All right, and then number 21, we're gonna have the Toronto Raptors staying at the same spot. The Raptors this week just go 2-2. So Raptors really had a rough few weeks, and now they just kind of trying to get back on track here. 500 weeks, so not bad for Toronto. They're just hanging on by a thread now. Now that the Bulls and the Wizards are sneaking up, it was looking pretty safe for them at the moment when they were above. But yeah, I mean the Bulls won, the Wizards won, so it's not quite out of the picture right now for the Raptors to miss out on the play-in tournament. I do think that the Bulls can be a more explosive basketball team. But yeah, Toronto, we're going to see. I mean, I think this team's very well coached. I anticipate this team would be more hovering around the 500 mark right now, but 15-19, we'll see if they can rebound. All right, going to number 20, the Indiana Pacers jumping up 2 spots right when it seemed like they were sliding a little bit. The Pacers this week go 3-1, so great week for Indy. Haliburton, these young pieces for the Pacers, Miles Turner. It's a very cohesive unit. That's what I've been saying all season long. Not a lot of talent, but a surprise team so far. They're sitting at number 7 in the Eastern Conference right now. So it's been a good season. They're above 500 right now for Indiana. And in this Eastern Conference, if you're going to finish 500, I do think you're going to make the play-in tournament. So at this point, that is what the Pacers, I think, are going to try and do. And I think at this point, they're playing good enough basketball that they can get there. We'll see if this Indiana Pacers team can continue the magic that they've kind of stirred up after I said that they were the worst team in the NBA coming into the season. All right, so let's go to number 19. Dropping down 6 spots here, we have the Golden State Warriors into the in the hunt here. Okay, so Warriors, not a bad week for them. It wasn't a bad week for them. Let's see. They actually go 2-2. So, yeah, it's not a bad week by any means for the Warriors. Curry's out till January 7th. We've got some of these other teams in the Western Conference who I do think are better right now. Without Curry, the Warriors, I don't think are a play-in tournament team. That's how I'm going to judge them at the moment with Curry being out. He's not going to be back for at least a week and a half or something. So, yeah, I do feel like the Warriors need to come down. This is a week late, I think. I wasn't sure how long Curry was out when I made the ranking last week, so that was on my bad. But now with Curry out, I do think the Warriors are the 19th best team in the league, even though they impressively beat the Grizzlies on Christmas Day. All right, let's go to number 18. We're going to have the Sacramento Kings jumping up a spot here in and into the play-in tournament tier. The Kings this week go 1-3, so not a good week for the Sacramento Kings, but I do think they're still a play-in tournament team. With Buddy Hield or Fox, and these young pieces for the guy out of Indiana that they drafted. The Kings have a lot of talent, a lot of young pieces here. The rebuild has been working for them. They just need to try and make the playoffs. And right now, they're doing a good job of it. They're sitting at number 7 right now in the Western Conference. So, congratulations for the Kings. Going to be coming into the play-in tournament here. But then number 17, very frustrating start for this team, dropping down 2 spots. We're going to have the Minnesota Timberwolves at 16-18. Yeah, I don't. At some point, I'm just going to have to treat this Minnesota Timberwolves team like they are because they're not playing up to their expectations and up to what I think they are. This week, they go 1-3. Just another rough week for Rudy Gobert and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't know. I don't know how you get worse by trading for Gobert. I know it's kind of a weird system here, with Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns, two centers. But still, I mean, the Timberwolves had a lot of high expectations. They gave up a lot to get Gobert, and it's not working right now. They've got to figure some things out. They've got to get back on track. I thought they were getting back on track a few weeks ago, but now they've gotten back to bad basketball. So we're going to see what happens with the Minnesota Timberwolves. This team could slide fast if they continue their struggles. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for the now, but we'll see what keeps on happening for Minnesota. All right, and then jumping up 2 spots this week, we're going to have the Utah Jazz just really jumping up because of the Warriors and the Timberwolves slide. The Jazz at 19-17, they go 2-2. Good week for Utah. So solid enough week. Mike Conley's return clearly helping out Utah quite a bit. He's such a big player for the Jazz. And they obviously got, Markkanen, who I do think is an all-star type player this season. Jordan Clarkson. This team has been playing good for Utah right now, and they're just playing cohesive like they have all season. Very together group, very well coached with Will Hardy coming in. I like this Jazz team. They're very fun right now, and they are a top 16 team in the just short of the 15 mark. But number 16, I do think, is right for the moment for Utah. All right, jumping up a spot, we're going to have the New York Knicks here at 18-17. The New York Knicks just jumping up because of the Warriors and the Timberwolves falling. But it was not a good week for the Knicks. They go 1-4, so really bad week. I was tempted to put the Jazz above them, but still, the New York Knicks, I do think, are still a good team. Blew it, couldn't get the win on Christmas Day to the 76ers, which is tough. But I still think that the Knicks are a decent enough team with Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. They showed a lot the last couple of weeks. We'll see with the Knicks. We're going to see one more week. It just was a rough week for them. All right, number 14, we're going to have the Portland Trailblazers dropping down 2 spots here. The Portland Trailblazers this week go 1-3. So kind of a rough week for Portland. But, dropping down out of the playoffs tier here back into the play-in tournament. It's the same things every week. This is the Damian Lillard show and not really anyone else. There's a few pieces there, that can help Damian Lillard, but it's clearly Damian Lillard here, and I just don't think Lillard alone is going to be enough to carry this team to be a top-tier team, even when they were starting out the year very well. I kept saying that, and not a lot of people wanted to listen, but that's still my stance. My stance still stands on the Portland Trailblazers. Number 13, we're going to have the Atlanta Hawks jumping up a spot here. The Atlanta Hawks this week go 2-2. So just another average week for the Hawks. It's been very average over the past, average or below average for the past like month and a half, I believe. Yeah, it's just been kind of average for Atlanta right now. They got a lot of talent with Trae Young and Murray. It could be a very explosive team right here. But, I mean, when they're cold, this team can get beat by basically anyone. So that's really – the Atlanta Hawks are a weird team. They're a scary team, but they also can be not very good. So they are a good team. Don't get me wrong, at 13, jumping up a spot is the right spot for them, I do believe, right now. All right, and then number 12, into the playoff tier we go. Jumping up 5 spots, we're going to have the Dallas Mavericks. Big time jump this week. They go 4-1. So the Mavericks kind of struggling over the past couple of weeks, and then this week have an explosive week here. Luka Doncic continues to make the case that he is the MVP this season, just clearly carrying a team very similar to the Portland Trailblazers. But the thing is, I think Luka Doncic is a better player right now than Damian Lillard. And Luka Doncic is literally carrying this team. But then again, it's the Luka Doncic show, and I just don't think that's enough to lead this team to be a top contender in the NBA. So, yeah, the Mavericks are a good team with Luka down there. But, yeah, not a lot else there for the Dallas Mavericks. All right, and then staying at the same spot, we're going to have the Miami Heat at 11 here. The Miami Heat this week go 1-3, so or 1-2. My bad. So Miami Heat, just another average week for this team. I'm waiting to see if this team can explode because they have a lot of potential. It's a very well-built team with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and all these pieces for the Heat. We can see what they're capable of over the past few years, but kind of been a rough start to this season. They're 17-17 right now. We'll see if they can get some things back on track. And then dropping down 5 spots this week and into the playoffs tier, the Phoenix Suns. Dropping down 5 here, number 10 at 20-15. Devin Booker goes down with an injury here. And with Booker out, I don't think this team, is a contender. They got Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, so it's still, and a lot of other pieces there. So it's still a very solid team without Booker. It's just not a contender in my eyes. So hopefully Booker heals up. I do think he's out for a couple weeks. I don't even know. All I know is he's out. He's going to miss some time here. So we're going to see if he can come back. But yeah, the Suns here, 20-15 this week go. They go 2-3. So kind of continuing their slide, but this is really just about Devin Booker, getting that groin tear. I think that's what it was. All right, and then number 9, a team that I wanted to maybe bring this team into the contender tier, but just couldn't quite do it quite yet. The New Orleans Pelicans. So I slid them down out of it last week because they had a rough week, and then they have a good week here. I'm going to be hesitant on the Pelicans this week. They go 3-1, so solid week. Just right on the tip of moving into that contender tier. It's just a very young team here. Not a lot of playoff experience for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's kind of what worries me. It feels like a Grizzlies team from a couple years ago, but they're playing very good right now. They got a lot of talent with Zion Williamson, McCollum, and Ingram. So this team is built to be a contender right now, but they've been. I just don't know. There's a lot of contenders in the NBA right now, so I'm just gonna have to wait a little bit. Just wait a little bit less, a little bit more time to move them up there. The Pelicans, good week, but just going to wait one more week to see if they can keep this rolling. All right, let's go to the contender tier. Jumping up a spot, the 76ers move into the contender tier here at 20-13. The 76ers, another great week. They go 4-1. Big time week for Philadelphia. Ever since James Harden's return, we have started to see the 76ers team that a lot of people anticipated coming into the season. So you'll love to see that. And with James Harden, the way he's playing, if he can, play well in the playoffs for once, this team can be very scary. Joel Embiid is a top player in the whole NBA right now. The Philadelphia 76ers are a very good basketball team, and we're going to see if they are going to continue to have it moving forward. All right, and then number 7, dropping down 4 spots, we're gonna have the Memphis Grizzlies. 20-13 here. The Memphis Grizzlies really taking a slide here. They did not play well this week. They go 1-3. So yeah, a lot of other teams played better. So I do think it's time for the Grizzlies to slide here. John Morant, obviously, it's a very young basketball team. They're very dangerous. I do think this team could be the best team in the Western Conference. It's a tight Western Conference, though, right now, and I do think they deserve to be falling down after a slide. So, yeah, I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies, don't count them out. John Morant's still a heck of a talented player, and the Memphis Grizzlies are a very young and scary basketball team. Going to number 6, though, we're going to have the Denver Nuggets jumping up 2 spots here. The Denver Nuggets this week go undefeated, 4-0 this week. So maybe I was disrespecting the Nuggets too much over the past couple of weeks, but this week had a great week for the 2-time MVP in Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, as well as Gordon and all these other players. It's a very, very good team here and a very scary team. This Denver Nuggets team can put up a lot of points. They can play good enough defense, very well coached basketball team, a team you do not want to run into, and they're right now the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, just not quite the best team in the West, in my opinion. But then moving on to number 5, jumping up a spot, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers here this week, go 2-2. So, yeah, not bad for the Cavs, not bad at all. Donovan Mitchell continues to show he is such a heck of a player. Darius Garland, all these. This is a very young team, very scary team as well. A team you do not want to meet in the postseason if Donovan Mitchell's hot. We've seen how red hot he can be in the playoffs. So yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers are a very good team right now. Very scary basketball team, and a team no one wants to play. All right, let's go to number 4. We're going to have the LA Clippers jumping up a spot. The LA Clippers here this week go, let me see. What is there? Wait, let me type something wrong. Okay, so the Clippers go 3-2 this week, I believe. Yeah, 3-2. So good week for the Clippers. They're going to be jumping up 3 spots here. So, yeah, I still really do believe in this Clippers team with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. If this team is healthy, my oh my, this team could be the best team in the NBA. Still, Kawhi Leonard getting a little bit the hang of himself this season. We'll see if he can continue to rise. But the Clippers right now are a very scary team if they're healthy, and a team that I think is the best team in the Western Conference. All right, and then number 3, these teams have gone close, surprisingly, over the past couple of weeks, especially for this one. Number 3, we have the Brooklyn Nets jumping up 1 spot. They're the hottest team in the NBA right now. They've won 9 straight games, as this week they go 3-0. So a big-time week. Ever since Kyrie Irving's return, we've seen the explosiveness of Kevin Durant and Irving. And right now, man, the Brooklyn Nets are red hot. Kevin Durant, obviously, one of the best players in the NBA, if not the best player. And then Kyrie Irving doing his thing as well. And then, yeah, the other players are doing their job right now. Royce O'Neal, that trade, he's really helped out the defense a little bit. And, yeah, just the Brooklyn Nets have been playing good basketball right now. Very scary basketball team. I know I've said that quite a bit out of these teams, but that's how I would describe a lot of them. All right, and then we're going to have a new number 1 here. So dropping down 1 spot, we're going to have the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks this week, rough week for them. They go 1-3, so I do think it was time to move them out of the number 1 team. Actually, Nets and Bucks are very close right now. I was tempted to go Nets, but not quite yet. Giannis Antetokounmpo still, I do think, is the best player in the whole NBA. Chris Middleton. It's just a very good team. They're very good at defense. The Milwaukee Bucks, obviously, we know what you get from Giannis. He is such a heck of a talent. He's a freak of nature. But still, they just had a rough week here. And I do think they deserve to come down. For the Celtics, who bounced back from a rough week a couple weeks ago, the Celtics this week go 3-1. So big time week for Boston. Jason Tatum playing his best basketball as well as Jaylen Brown. Very well coached team. Very good at defense. Really, it seems like they're not even missing their old coach. I forgot his name, but the one that left or whatever for some reason. I forgot why. But yeah, the Celtics, very good team right now. And I do think at this point they deserve the respect to be my number one team. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway, peace